Ugly motherfucker.
Every exotically grotesque predator Yautja featured in movies, explored in detail. Our title correctly describes the predators as exotic and grotesque. These creatures from a faraway planet are the best of hunters ever filmed or written about. What makes them classic monsters is not just their appearance and thirst for killing, but also their code of honor and strict social rules that they follow. The predators are a species called the Yautjas that hail from a planet called Yautja Prime. We humans oversimplified their name and called them predators on the basis of the acts they perform. Back on their planet, they are born as a juvenile who grows up to become an unblooded. The unblooded then goes through strict training in hunting and becomes a young blood. The young blood then embarks on a hunting trip where he has to kill a xenomorph and mark his head with its acidic blood. This ritualistic hunt transforms a young blood into an adult or blooded Yautja. A blooded Yautja can later become an elite and elder. Like all societies, the Yautja are plagued with rogues and criminals. Those who break the code of honor are designated as bad bloods. Let's explore and take a closer look at the 22 Yautjas that graced our screens. So, grab your combi sticks and wrist blades, cause this one is going to be as thrilling as a hunt.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Scar came with his brothers Chopper and Celtic to Earth to get the status of a blooded Yautja by killing a xenomorph. Scar arrived in his pod, after which he made his way to the Razorback Point whaling station in the Antarctic. The place hid an ancient Yautja pyramid and was now to be used as a hunting ground for these youngbloods. Upon arrival, Scar encountered several men belonging to Charles Whalen's firm and slaughtered them in cold blood. Scar also finished off Rustin Quinn, the leader of a drilling team. Inside the pyramid, the Yautjas realized that the humans had stolen their plasma casters. Scar, Chopper, and Celtic dispersed to hunt them down and retrieve their weapons. Scar ambushed and killed 2 men, Bass and Stone. He then went on to find 3 more, including Wayland. He initially spared Wayland because of his cancer, but when the latter attacked him with an improvised flamethrower, Scar was done showing mercy and impaled Wayland on his wrist blades. After this, Scar went after Sebastian and Lex, but met a facehugger in a xenomorph drone. He slew both of them and removed his helmet to mark himself with the xenomorph blood, but before he could put it back in place, another facehugger impregnated him. When Scar revived from the facehugger's assault, he caught up to Lex. She returned him his weapon and they started working in tandem. Scar even mutilated a xenomorph drone and turned the body parts into a makeshift spear and shield for Lex to use. Together, they fought a group of aliens that was led by the Alpha Grid. After successfully taking them down, Scar and Lex discovered the Xenomorph Queen and her hive. In the hive, Scar activated his self-destruct mechanism and left it there. But before leaving, he didn't shy away from snapping the neck of a chestbuster. Having her hive destroyed, the Antarctic Queen emerged from the rubble and ice to exact her revenge. Scar and Lex managed to drown her into the frozen hell of the cold ocean, but not before she impaled Scar and mortally wounded him. Post his death, the Yautja mothership appeared to take away Scar's corpse with honor and respect. However, once inside the ship, a Predalian chestburster came out, and it later went on to wreak havoc along with many other xenomorphs on the town of Gunnison. Interestingly, he's one of the few predators to have a sense of humor. Chopper. As mentioned earlier, Chopper came to Earth with Celtic and Scar to get initiated as the Blooded Yautja by killing a xenomorph and marking himself with its blood. He was elder to Scar and younger to Celtic. After discovering that their weapons were missing, Chopper, along with his brothers, went after humans. Chopper was preparing to kill Lex, but Grid ambushed him from behind. Grid then went on to impale Chopper and lift him into the air before biting Chopper's head off. Unlike Scar and Celtic, Chopper loved taking risks, but these risks were callous and not calculated. While Scar used his cunning nature and stealth, and Celtic used the brute strength of his huge body, Chopper was the only one with extensive expertise in scimitar weapons. However, Chopper was always yearning for Celtic's approval, and that is what led to his brutal death at the hands of, well, metaphorical hands of Grid. He wore 2 skulls on his back, probably as a symbol of the self-annihilating nature of man, which he was obsessed with. Noticeably, he had the weakest of all the body armors, but you'd be surprised to know that Scar, Chopper, and Celtic's bodysuits were all made out of the same mold. He was also unique because he never used the plasma casters, instead opting for the aphrostated simis. Celtic. Celtic was the eldest of the 3 brothers who came to Earth in Aliens vs. Predator. Naturally, he was relatively big and used his brute strength to fight his enemies. Celtic helped his brothers in killing all drilling staff and mercenaries. During this bloody massacre, he confronted Quinn and engaged him in close hand-to-hand combat. Of course, Quinn was far from a match for the massive Predator, and he sent Quinn down an access tunnel where Scar finished them off. After this, Celtic's next victim was Stafford, whom he caught with his net gun and then impaled with his combi stick. Sebastian wanted to show some heroism to Celtic and attacked him, and he met with a similar fate when Celtic choked his neck to kill him. When Celtic saw his younger brother being attacked by the Xenomorph drone Grid, he charged at it. In a bloody and gruesomely long battle, Celtic managed to subdue the alien for a moment with his net gun. However, Grid succeeded in freeing itself and bit off the former's head. This aggressive, impulsive, and massive predator used his large body and brute strength to fight in battles. With all brawn and no brains, his aggression often got the better of him. It was his egotistic nature and temperament that led to his death, because he didn't think through his plan when he attempted to avenge Chopper by attacking Grid. Even when he had the opportunity to kill Grid, he was boastful enough to relish his kill, giving Grid the time to get the better of him. Then again, he had the largest body count in the film, but that doesn't mean he can be called an experienced predator. At the end of the day, he failed to get blooded. Interestingly, in the film, he never attacked anyone who didn't assault or threaten him first. In this regard, he lived by the Yautja Code of Honor and followed it to his death. Elder Predator. The Elder Predator was the overseer of the hunt that Scar, Chopper, and Celtic were a part of at the Razorback Point whaling station in the Antarctic. As you already know, it is the Elders that guide the young Blooded Yautjas and lead them into a ritualistic hunt. The Elder Predator from the 2004 film AVP commanded the mothership that brought the young bloods to Earth. As is customary, he watched the entire hunt without interfering and awaited the outcome of the victorious in his ship. If you recall, Scar had defeated the Xenomorph Queen with the help of Lex, but he ultimately succumbed to his injuries that he received from the Queen. After this event, the Elder Predator came with others of his kind and collected Scar's body to take it to the mothership. As a mark of respect and honor to the courage that Lex had just shown, he gave her Scar's combi stick and then left for his vessel. Apart from using the traditional Yautja weaponry, he also sported a cloak. Wolf. He was an experienced hunter and elite Yautja. As an elite, his task was to hunt the bad blood predators as well as the Predalians. He was sent to Gunnison in Colorado when Scar became a Predalian and started wreaking havoc there. A mark of his expertise and accomplishment was the burnt upper mandible on his right side. In Aliens vs. Predator, Scar's body was brought to the mothership by the Elder Earth Predator, but unbeknownst to him, Scar was impregnated with a chest burster that ejected out of Scar when he was on the ship. The resultant Predalian wreaked havoc and massacred the crew. The mothership was safe, but the scout ship crash-landed in a small town of Gunnison in Colorado before it sent out a distress signal. Wolf came from Yautja Prime to Gunnison and found the crashed ship and its dead crew members. Wolf discovered that it was all a doing of a Predalian and went after it. It is a norm in the Yautja society to use more advanced and lethal weapons when someone rises in their ranks. So, as Wolf was an elite Yautja, he had various weapons at his disposal, like wrist blades, shurikens, a pair of power punch gloves, an extra plasma caster, a dissolving liquid capable of destroying biomass, and, of course, the very famous self-destruct device. He went on a mission to destroy all shreds of evidence of Yautja presence on Earth. Facehuggers had impregnated 2 cops named Buddy and Sam. As Wolf was dissolving their bodies, he encountered Deputy Ray. Wolf chased and caught up to him before skidding his body by a tree. Wolf was a tactical Yautja. He set up laser net traps for facehuggers and entrapped them. He killed 2 of them, but the Scar Predalien attacked him with his tail. This made Wolf misfire, and the resultant explosion collapsed a large part of the sewer and created a hole on the surface streets. The chaos gave the Xenomorphs time to escape, but Wolf used his power punch glove to strike through the rubble and pursue them. He chased one of the Xenomorphs to a power plant and tried to kill it with his plasma caster, but the electromagnetic interference from the plant made him misfire again, and the subsequent damage created a blackout in the entire town. This was when the authorities noticed the situation. Once again, the Xenomorph got an opportunity to escape, but the unyielding spirit of Wolf helped him track another in the swimming pool of a local school. This time, he didn't miss. He used a man named Dallas Howard as a bait to attract 5 Xenomorphs. Although Howard escaped, the bait worked, and Wolf killed all 5 of the cunning aliens. However, the fight damaged one of his plasma casters, so he merged this one with the other plasma caster and turned it into a makeshift plasma pistol. That's just cool! Finally, Wolf reached the town hospital, where he learned that the Xenomorphs were trying to make a hive. He then reached the roof and fought the Scar Predalien in hand-to-hand combat, as he had lost his weapons. Here it was evident that Wolf was no match for the combined strength of a Xenomorph and a Predator. In a very bold and brave move, he removed all his gear and biohelmet and once again went after Scar Predalien, tearing its inner jaw and impaling its head with his wrist blades. But the Predalien stuck its tail into him, which led to a standoff between the 2 great beasts. However, the US government sent a Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor loaded with a nuke, and this was the end of both Wolf and the Scar Predalien. Bull was the Yautja who was on a scout ship that was carrying Scar's body. As we already know, Scar was impregnated with a chest burster, and when the Grotesque figure came out as a Predalien, it killed Bull alongside the rest of the Yautja crew. Bull was busy observing the holographic image of another planet when he heard his fellow brothers' cries. Upon reaching the spot, he witnessed the Predalien and its massacre. He activated Xenovision on his helmet and attempted to slay the Predalien with a plasma caster, but missed his mark, and the resultant explosion created a hole in the ship that crash-landed it on Earth in Gunnison, Colorado. He also witnessed the facehuggers in the scout ship and was quick enough to send a distress signal. However, the Predalien bit Bull's head off. The distress signal was then picked up by Wolf, who came to Earth to stop the Predalien and the Xenomorph infestation. Fugitive Predator. The Fugitive Predator was a rogue predator who wanted to give humanity a weapon called the Yautja Killer in their fight against the Prime Hunters. He was a hybrid between a human and a Yautja and was captured as a part of Project Stargazer. Upon capture, Quinn McKenna stole much of his technology. He managed to escape and then went on to hunt his missing pieces of tech. The Fugitive Predator's spaceship was being attacked by a Predator mothership. To escape, he opened a wormhole that transferred to Earth's orbit and crash-landed in the jungles of Mexico. This entire episode took place near Quinn McKenna and his team. McKenna was sent to Mexico to take care of a hostage situation, but when he stumbled upon this otherworldly crash, he retrieved the Yautja wrist gauntlet and biohelmet. The Predator then appeared on the trees but was largely invisible due to his cloak. The Fugitive then killed one of McKenna's team members, but McKenna unknowingly fired at the Fugitive with his own wrist gauntlet and knocked him down. Interestingly, the cloaking device was also present in the wrist gauntlet. McKenna had mailed the devices to his home in the US.
You mail this for me. You send it to this address.
Where his son Rory finds the package. Meanwhile, the fugitive predator is taken hostage and experimented upon, and the results reveal that he has human DNA.
This specimen has
Human DNA.
Yes.
However, the ship that was assaulting his vessel arrives on Earth and brings a deadly predator named the Upgrade Predator. When the fugitive gained his consciousness, he managed to escape his captors and killed many scientists and military men before finding his way to the armory. Interestingly, the fugitive knows how to use human weaponry, a trait that's very rare among predators. He finally manages to reach Rory's school and pins down the boy and his father. However, there he meets the Upgraded Predator, his arch-enemy. It is later revealed that the fugitive predator was on Earth to help humanity defend itself from an invasion by a rogue faction of predators. While studying his escape pod, a piece of technology came out of it and latched on a person nearby. It encases him completely in Yautja weaponry and armor. Upgraded Predator / the Ultimate Predator. As discussed earlier, the Upgraded Predator, or Assassin Predator, was the arch-enemy of the Fugitive Predator. He was a result of immense hybridization. His DNA created via splicing the DNA of various creatures from different worlds, while the base DNA was that of a predator. This gave him enhanced powers and abilities. He was faster, taller, and stronger than a typical predator, and could change the biomass of his body to create an external armor, probably a feature that he got from some otherworldly creature. Furthermore, he didn't need a biohelmet for his thermal vision, implying that he either possessed an implant or was naturally able to pull off such crazy stunts. His bulletproof exterior skeleton had the potential to reflect incoming bullets in various directions, and could even destroy wrist blades. Furthermore, he was able to communicate in English with humans. He was sent on Earth to kill the fugitive predator, and succeeded in his mission when he smashed the fugitive's head with a single punch before tearing away his head and spine from his body. Gruesome stuff. Berserker. As a young Yautja, he was the youngest to achieve the Youngblood status and then the Blooded status. He was a prodigal and attained the highest kill count, helping him rise early in the Yautja ranks and ultimately become a clan leader. However, he later left his clan to form his own, which was in opposition to the Jungle Hunters. Berserker's tribe included other super predators like Falconer and Tracker. It began a new hunt on Game Preserve Planet, an area where the predators kidnapped individuals from various species and hunted them for kicks. Berserker used several tactics to get to his prey. For instance, he employed an injured man as bait to get his friends to help him, but the men and women realized that it was a trap, and they shot him with a sniper rifle while he kept saying, "Help." Later, Berserker utilized his plasma caster to destroy one man's M134 minigun. In one of the scenes, a number of grenades exploded, which blew Berserker away, but it did no real harm to him. Furthermore, shooting a bullet from a sniper rifle only seemed to anger him. Naturally, no amount of force could do any damage to this great monster. So, one of the humans named Royce ignited a circle of fire to cut off Berserker's heat vision. Royce then used this opportunity to impale Berserker several times with his axe, ultimately decapitating the Super Predator, also known as Mr. Black or Super Black.
What is that?
Falconer. He was a young blood super predator who had immense love and aptitude for technology and engineering. It is evident that all predators use gadgets, but their appearance looks somewhat tribal, like spears and sticks. Falconer, on the other hand, did not believe in these primordial-looking pieces of technology, instead fashioning himself a falcon-like device that could track his prey from the air, inventing a new style of hunting that relied completely on stalking targets. He and his brothers were part of a Berserker's clan and hunted the individuals on Game Preserve Planet. When humans came to the hunting camp where the Yautjas kept their hunting trophies, the humans got into heavy fire from the Yautjas. The humans fled the spot, but Falconer sent his drone to locate them, who had fallen into a river. After losing one of his brothers in a confrontation with humans, Falconer got enraged and remained in hot pursuit. However, one of the men named Hanzo decided to face the lone super predator himself and stopped fleeing. After an exciting and high-octane battle, Hanzo managed to fatally wound Falconer and killed him. However, the injuries that Hanzo sustained during the length of the fight became the cause of his death.
What took you so long?
Tracker. Tracker was among the super predators who set up the season games at the Game Preserve planet. He was definitely more skilled and powerful than his tech-savvy brother Falconer. After Falconer located the group of humans, Tracker ordered his hellhounds to go after the humans. The hellhounds are ankylosaur-like pets of the Yautjas, but they also look like a blend of dogs and reptiles. Just like a hunting dog, the hellhounds track prey but don't kill them. Tracker was responsible for the death of Mombasa. Later, he pursued the fleeing humans, but failed to do any substantial damage. He then killed Nolan using his plasma caster. After a man named Nikolai saved one of Tracker's prey, Tracker got agitated and shot Nikolai with his plasma caster and teased Nikolai while he crawled. But Nikolai took out his claymore mines and ignited them, the resulting explosion killing both of them. Tracker was essentially a loner who preferred spending time with his alien canines, training them with the skills of flushing and tracking. As a hunter, he was extremely potent, channeling all of the biological, technological, and evolutionary advantages as a predator into finding and killing his prey. Despite this, his death was the first among the super predators in the 2010 film Predators. However, his skills as a hunter were not forgotten, as he was included in the 2010 Dark Horse comic Predators: A Predatory Life, and also the video game Predators. Jungle Hunter. The Jungle Hunter arrived on Earth a while before 1987 and started to hunt worthy prey in the Guatemalan jungles. He would especially arrive during hot summer months and make trophies out of the men. It earned him the title of El Diablo. In 1987, CIA agent Al Dillon was leading a rescue mission, but his men were skinned, gutted out, and hung from trees. After this event, he took the help of Dutch Schaefer to finish the mission. The Jungle Hunter's first victim was Hawkins, who went after a rebel named Anna, who was trying to escape. Hawkins met a similar fate as Dillon's men.
What in God's name?
The Jungle Hunter proved to be an ace huntsman who only attacked when his victim was secluded from the rest. The next fatality was Blaine, who was shot by a plasma caster, the impact creating a huge see-through hole in his chest. However, Blaine's body was retrieved by his squad, and the Jungle Hunter didn't get his trophy. So, he infiltrated the team in the dead of night to retrieve it.
Blaine's body. It's gone.
He then wounded Poncho, and later killed Dillon with his wrist blades. One by one, the Jungle Hunter killed everyone from the crew. Dutch got saved because he unknowingly shielded himself from the Predator's heat vision by covering himself in mud. Dutch wanted to avenge the deaths of his teammates and old friend Dillon, so he prepared a well-protected and well-armed site for the Predator and invited him to fight one last time by screaming and lighting up a fire as a beacon. The Jungle Hunter was a beast who played by the rules. When he saw that Dutch was an ingenuine and robust fighter, the Predator discarded his weapons and engaged in hand-to-hand combat. However, even without the weapons, Dutch was no match for the grueling and hulking beast. In the end, it was one of Dutch's traps that got the better of the Predator. However, even when he remained pinned and crushed, the Predator took one last chance to kill his conqueror by activating the self-destruct device. Another reason for doing this was to ensure that the Yautja technology didn't fall into any other hands. The records of the events were recorded and closely studied by the Yautja Society, and humanity was seen as a formidable and respectable prey. Many years later, this newfound respect made the City Hunter arrive on Earth. City Hunter. The City Hunter arrived in the sweltering summer of Los Angeles and started to massacre the trigger-happy criminals of the city. He had come with several predators in the mothership, but no one apart from him participated in the killings. He took a keen interest in one detective, Harrigan, from the beginning, and he witnessed Harrigan use his wits to outsmart and kill several of the gunslinging criminals. After taking out a Jamaican gang, the Predator went after the Colombian gang. His first police victim was Detective Danny, who had gone to retrieve a spear tip from the crime spot. The people and the press had no idea what was going on, and they dubbed the elite hunter Psycho Vigilante because of his uniquely gruesome style of murdering lawbreakers. The most celebrated scene of the film has to be the subway when two cops get stuck inside a train with some goons, a group of ordinary passengers carrying guns and pistols, and a murderous alien. The scene helped the late Bill Paxton become one of the only two guys to have been killed by the Terminator, Predator, and a Xenomorph. The subway scene brought out one more thing into the light about the Predator. He doesn't kill unarmed people and spares pregnant women. A rather humane aspect for a dastardly beast like him. Paxton's death accelerated things a bit and pissed off Harrigan. After a small battle between the men of Agent Keyes and the city hunter at the slaughterhouse, he escapes, and there begins a chase sequence between Harrigan and the Predator. Harrigan reaches the Yautja spaceship, where he finally guts the alien out in a fight that could have ended well, and in the spaceship, we also see a Xenomorph skull trophy among other skulls, bringing the aliens and Predators into the same universe. Crucified Predator. Obviously, the Crucified Predator was not always crucified. Falconer and Berserker once captured him by a waterfall. They strung him on a totem-like structure. He did try to escape his captors, but they were in greater numbers, and the Crucified Predator was no match for such numerous super predators. Later, the humans from the game park came across him while he was in a painful state, extended out on the ground on a totem pole. Looking at his state, the humans believed him to be dead or about to die. But when one of them poked him with an M134 minigun, the Crucified Predator awakened and lent out a loud roar, shocking and scaring the humans present there.
We have to leave. Now!
When the super predators started attacking the humans, one of the humans named Royce decided to strike a deal with the Crucified Predator, freedom, in exchange for helping the humans return home. With the Predator's agreement, they used his wrist gauntlet to the spacecraft of the super predators. However, Berserker approached the scene, and a fierce battle ensued between him and the Crucified Predator. After a lot of blows from scimitars and plasma casters, Berserker managed to finally slay the Crucified Yautja. Scout. Scout was one of the members of the group of Yautjas who had engaged with Detective Harrigan in Predator 2 after he defeated the City Hunter Predator. They could see that Harrigan had trounced one of their own in an excellently fought battle. They all forgave him and collected the body of the City Hunter. Apart from this, Scout didn't have a major role to play in any of the sequences. Scout left with his leader Greyback and others. Interestingly, Scout's biohelmet is the same as that of the Jungle Hunter Predator. Greyback. Greyback, or the Golden Predator, was an elder predator who came to Earth twice, first as a hunter, and then as an elder who was overseeing the Los Angeles hunting party, and especially the City Hunter Predator. After Harrigan killed the City Hunter, Greyback and his Yautjas came to take the body of their fallen warrior. It is now that Greyback gave Harrigan an old pistol with the engraving Raphael Andolini, 1715. The history of this pistol goes back to 1718, when Greyback was young and had come to Earth to hunt humans. In 1718, a pirate captain by the name of Raphael Andolini would lead his men in plundering ships and boats, but he lived by a strong code of not looting the church property. However, when his own men wished to steal the huge amounts of gold that belonged to the church, the captain fought them for going against his code of honor. Greyback was overseeing these events as they unfolded, and impressed by the courage of Andolini, decided to fight by his side, eliminating the entire crew together. However, they knew that ultimately they'd have to fight each other for the ultimate honor, and when it was time to do that, one of Andolini's men shot him in the back. In his dying moments, Andolini hands his pistol to the Predator and says, "Take it." The Predator in turn gives Andolini his combi stick and repeats the same words. Greyback had been searching for such a human who would truly deserve Andolini's firearm. Harrigan proved his mettle against a sturdy alien and became a man deserving the Yautja respect and honor. Boar. Interestingly, Boar was born on a remote island on the home planet of Yautjas called Yautja Prime. Unlike other Yautjas, he forms the part of the subspecies of Yautjas. When he was little, his entire clan was brutally massacred by a rival Yautja clan. No one apart from him and his brothers survived the attack. Naturally, they relied on criminal activities like theft for sustenance, and once tried to steal from Greyback himself. However, instead of punishing the two of them, Greyback adopted them into his own clan and helped them lead a respectable life. Boar was one of the Yautjas who confronted Harrigan after he killed the City Hunter Predator. Surprisingly enough, he doesn't carry any weapons, not even the typical wrist blades. Stalker, Guardian, Warrior, Shaman, and Borg. Apart from Scout, Greyback, and Boar, these 5 predators were also present in the mothership that came to receive the City Hunter Predator. Not much is known about the backstories of these guys, but we have some interesting trivia here for you. If you'll notice, Stalker's biohelmet is very similar to that of Boar's, and this earned him the title of Baby Boar. The biohelmet that Guardian wears was actually the one originally designed for the Jungle Hunter Predator, but the design was rejected back then, and it was reused for Guardian. Predators are known to have reptilian skin, much like that of Crocs. However, Warrior's skin has some interesting light blue patterns. Borg is one of the few predators who doesn't wield a biohelmet in his first appearance. Did you know that several players from the Los Angeles Lakers played the parts of the hunting party? It was getting really difficult to get a hold of tall people to portray several predators, so when the need arose, Danny Glover asked players from his favorite team to do the honors, and they happily agreed.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
What are you? Shut the fuck up.